Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome to chapter 3 of history, that is, the Delhi Sultans. So, children, today we are going to see the part 1 of this particular chapter. So, let us begin now. We will begin with Delhi. We will see how Delhi was or when Delhi was claimed as the capital and what is the importance of Delhi. So, children, in the previous chapter, we have seen that Kaveri Delta, it became the center of the large kingdom. But children, have you ever wondered that there was no mention of the kingdom Delhi as the capital? Have you ever thought about it? That was because Delhi became important city only in the 12th century. Children, Delhi became the capital of the kingdom under the Tomara Rajputs. They were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by the Chauhans. Now, the Chauhans are also referred to as Chahamanas. They were the Chahamanas of Ajmer. So, children, it was under the Tomaras and the Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. Children, many of the rich Jainas, they lived in that city and they also constructed many temples over there. Coins were also minted there as in where? In Delhi, and which is why they were called Dehliwals. Children, now these Dehliwals had a very wide circulation. So children, this city of Delhi was transformed into a capital and it controlled vast areas of what? Of the subcontinent. And it started with the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate in the beginning of the 13th century. Now children, the Delhi Sultans, they built many cities in the area that we now know as Delhi. So now let us have a look at the different dynasties, during which Delhi became an important city. So as I told you earlier, it started with the 12th century. What was one of the main thing during that time? It was that coins were minted there and they were called Dehliwal, which had a very, very large circulation. Now children, the first to rule were the Rajput dynasties. Now, the Rajput dynasties, basically Tomaras were the first one to rule. So, they ruled from early 12th century, that is from 1165. They were followed by Anangapala from 1130 to 1145. Chauhans from 1165 to 1192 and Prithviraj Chauhan from 1175 to 1192. So children, in this particular topic we are going to learn more about Delhi Sultans. We are going to revise about inscriptions and Tariq. So children, we all know that inscriptions, coins and architecture provide a lot of information, okay? But children, the ones which are very valuable are histories, Tariq, Tawarik, which are written in Persian, the language of administration under the Delhi Sultan. So the language of administration under the Delhi Sultans was Persian, and the especially valuable are the histories, okay, Tariq or Tawarik, which were written in the Persian language. It provides us with lot of information, okay children. Now children, the authors of Tawarik or Tariq, okay, they were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers who both recounted the event and they also advised the rulers about the governance. They gave more importance of just rule. So children, now let us revise about few additional details, okay, about the authors of the Tawarik. First, they lived in cities, that is mainly Delhi, and they hardly ever lived in villages, okay. Second, they often wrote their histories for sultans in the hope of rich rewards. So they always had this in their mind that if they write something good about the sultans, they would get a very good reward. Now these authors advised rulers on the need to preserve an ideal social order based on the birthright and gender distinctions. What does this mean? Birthright means there are some privileges that were claimed on account of birth. For example, people believed that nobles inherited their rights to govern because they were born in certain families, okay. So and the other is what? Gender distinction. Now what is gender distinction, children? Gender distinction is the social and biological difference between women and men. Now usually these differences are used to argue that men are superior to women, okay. Now though this idea it wasn't shared by everybody. Now let us look at the next topic and revise about it, which is about Razia Sultan. Children, in 1236, as we have already learned, Sultan Iltutmish's daughter Razia became Sultan. The chronicler of the age, that is Minhaj-e-Siraj, recognized that she was more able and qualified than all her brothers. So though she had brothers, she was more able and qualified than them, okay. But somehow he was not comfortable at having a queen as ruler. Nor were the nobles happy about her to rule independently. And children, she was removed from the throne in the year 1240. So this is what gender distinction is. Though she was capable, though she was able, then all her brothers, few of them, the nobles, did not feel it right for her to rule independently. just because she was a female. So basically, Minhaj-e-Siraj thought that the queen's rule, it went against the ideal social order which is created by God. So according to him, in this social order, women were supposed to be subordinate to men. And he therefore asked in the register of God's creation that since her account did not fall under the column of men, how did she gain from all the excellent qualities? So how she gained those qualities, those excellent qualities, though she did not fall under the category of men. Now in this particular topic, which is from garrison town to empire, the expansion of Delhi Sultanate, we are going to revise first of all about garrison town. Okay, so basically, what is the garrison town? What is garrison town? Area which was fortified and where soldiers used to live, okay, is known as a garrison town. So it means fortified settlement with soldiers. What does it mean? Garrison town means fortified settlements with soldier. So in the early 13th century, okay, the control of Delhi sultans, it hardly went beyond the fortified towns, okay, which were occupied by the garrisons. The sultans controlled the hinterland of the cities and were therefore dependent upon trade, tribute or plunder for supplies. What is a hinterland, children? A hinterland is a land adjacent to a city or a port that supplies it with goods and services. So, children, controlling garrison towns, okay, in distant Bengal and Sindh from Delhi was extremely difficult. It was very, very difficult. Okay. Now, the rebellion, okay, war, and even bad weather could snap the communication routes. So Delhi's authority was also challenged by the Mongols, who were from Afghanistan, and by the governors who rebelled at any sign of the Sultan's weakness. The Sultanate barely survived these challenges. Its consolidation occurred during the reign of Ghiasuddin Balban and further expansion under Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad Tughlaq. Now children, look at this picture. This is a picture of major cities, okay, which were captured by Shamsuddin Iltutmish. So let us take a small recap of this typical session, okay. What did we learn just now? The early phase of Delhi Sultanate was limited to fortified towns, right? The control of Delhi Sultanate was limited to fortified towns. Controlling garrison town in Bengal and Sindh was very difficult. Mongol invasions from Afghanistan changed Delhi's authority. The Sultanate barely survived such challenges. So with this I end this part, that is part 1 of history chapter 3, that is the Delhi Sultans. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and keep learning.